Today, we are going to unpack a topic that I personally believe is the single biggest obstacle that stands in the way of you and your ability to achieve absolutely everything that you want in your life. That obstacle is your fear of what other people think about you. We worry about it. We care about what other people think. We try to manage what other people think. You always stop and you consider what somebody else is going to think or do in response to it. And you don't even realize how often you do this. I didn't either until I discovered the let them theory and starting to learn to catch myself whenever I was considering what somebody else would think or how they might react and worrying about it and learning how to say, let them, it has been life altering. Everybody wants to know, how do I stop caring about what other people think? And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about this topic and I'm going to unpack it by sharing a conversation with you that I had with Chrissy Teigen. And before we even jump into it, I want to thank Chrissy. I want to thank her for allowing me to share this conversation with you. And I got in her face about this because it's really sad when you hold yourself back because you're afraid of something that you can't control. Because you're going to learn you will never, ever, ever be able to control or guarantee what another person thinks about you. Never. Like, I think it's fine to care what other people think. It's a sign that you're a good person. That's not the problem. The problem is how you hold yourself back, how you silence your opinion, how you use other people's opinions as a means to make yourself feel like you're not good enough as you are. That's going to stop today. And any time and any energy that you pour into trying to manipulate or control or guarantee what somebody else is going to think about you is a gigantic waste of time and energy. And in fact, anytime you start worrying about what somebody else thinks about you, you actually cause stress and anxiety for yourself. The fact that you're worrying about what everybody thinks so much is actually a major source of stress. So on the opening of her podcast, I explained to Chrissy what the let them theory is. So the let them theory is a very simple mindset tool that shows you instantly what's in your control and what's not in your control. And there's two very simple parts to the let them theory. Part one, you're going to use whenever you feel yourself starting to get frustrated or stressed out or annoyed or worried about what somebody else is doing, feeling, or saying. Just say, let them. Let them say what they're going to say. Let them think what they're going to think. I'm going to stop trying to control them and just let them. And the second step is when you say, let me. And when you say, let me, you remind yourself that in life, there's only three things you can control. It's what you think, it's what you do or don't do, and it's how you process the feelings that are rising up. And when you say, let me, this is where you get your power back. Let me remind myself that my power is not in what other people are doing. My power is always in my response. And when you focus on your response, and particularly you focus on showing up in a way that makes you proud of yourself, you're now in control of your life. And so I explained that to Chrissy on her new podcast, and this is what she had to say in response.
I can say that to myself all I want. I can say, let them think their thoughts. Let yourself be misunderstood. It's okay. You have a wonderful family, wonderful friends, a wonderful life, but it is so incredibly challenging for me. The one thing I wish I could change was that I wish I weren't so misunderstood, and I wish people knew how good I was. And it's so desperate sounding and so sad, but that for me is my biggest battle in life.
Yeah, I'm so happy that she shared that because I don't think it sounds desperate at all. I think that's a really universal fear. And I was so glad that she actually shared that this is the one thing I wish I could change. I mean, just imagine what would change about your life if you really could just let people think what they think and you didn't worry about being misunderstood. And so, of course, I had to ask Chrissy directly, like, why are you so concerned about what other people think? And what is it exactly that you're afraid of? And this is what she had to say.
Since I was little, I really wanted to be loved, and I really wanted adoration and affection. I had a parent that was not very touchy-feely. I felt growing up that I was someone that she could show off. And so when I was little and going up to people and saying my words in Thai or doing what I was told and being good, I got really good feedback from that. And I got that feeling of always wanting to be really good for everybody. And it's been in me since I was little.
And so what she's talking about here is something that so many of the psychologists and psychiatrists that have come on the Mel Robbins podcast talk about, which is the experience that you had when you were little, where you got positive attention. It kind of tells you, when other people are telling me that I'm good, when other people are giving me positive attention, that's how I know that I feel good about myself. But here's the problem. As long as you locate your goodness and whether or not you're doing a good job as a person in the opinions and the moods of other people, you're never going to be in control of it. And that's why so many of us, whether it's Chrissy Teigen or it's you or it's me, we find ourselves in these situations in life where you're like, oh my gosh, why am I so concerned about what other people think about me? And as I explained to Chrissy, look, it's natural when you're a kid because you need to be cared for. But when we are adults, we have to pull that back to ourselves. And that's where the let them theory is really going to change things. Because when you outsource your self-worth, when you outsource the positive affirmations to other people's opinions, you will never feel safe. And as I started to explain this to Chrissy, that the more you can learn to let other people say what they're going to say, be who they're going to be, the better your life is going to get, because you're going to understand that what you think about yourself is actually the most important thing.
If this inspired you, subscribe for more motivation.